Hello everyone, my name is Sheela. I feel like most of you don't know who I am, but I am the teacher's assistant to Professor Bulwer Smythe. And today I'll be going through your homework assignments and grading them and giving a little bit of feedback so you know how to get an A next time. Great. So we're looking at the Beksinski class that the professor gave recently. And as you can see, we've got 4.74k students at the university here at Scorched Sands. Only 1k of you came to class, which is fine. I hope more of you will like to show up in the future. And it looks like only 47 of those 1k students submitted homework. So I've got slim pickings here to go through, but less grading for me, and I have no problem with that. Okay, great. Now I've got homework submitted from Neuron Crux 5937. And Neuron says, in my own studies of demonology, it has occurred to me that while there are obviously more than 72 demons existing in the world, the 72 demons of Solomon's Goetia have direct zodiacal and or Masonic correspondence. The key to that system being, of course, the pentagram or five-pointed star. Each spirit is said to rule over 5 degrees of the celestial circle. Hence, 5 times 7 equals 360. I also can't help but notice the connection to the judgment card of the tarot, in which a trumpet is calling the dead to rise. Great, so that trumpet, you're really connecting so much there. And the professor responds to you here saying, yes, that's an interesting relationship. So the professor has responded to you here, and I think this is a great homework assignment. You've really gotten the professor's eye. You've opened us up to what you're thinking, and I love your research. Let's give you A+. A+ there, Neuron Crux. The neurons are really firing in your mind, so thank you for that. All right, next homework from Draven Dark Matter. Draven says, the thermometer emoji is a little used emoji in my kit. Perhaps because I do not often have a fever. Good for you, Draven. I'm glad you don't have a fever very often. Do you have an opinion on how the use of this emoji frequently might impact one's body temperature? And in that vein of thinking, are there direct bodily effects from every emoji? We've got some replies here. Draven, I want to first of all say this is more of a question, but I really love that you're presenting questions and being able to engage with the other students. That in itself is a great way to engage with homework so that you can be engaging and speaking to your fellow students. As you can see here, the professor says that this is an advanced question and that he'll have to mull it over, so you really have sort of got the professor thinking, which is something that we all like to do, wouldn't it? But then in response, we've got the lovely T.D.F5968 saying, dang dong, I think you're spot on. Some say this realm is ruled by signs and symbols. I first of all want to say T.D.F5968 that before I even get into what you say, A+ on this. I love what you wrote here. I love that you're thinking about creating experiences through signs and symbols and talking about predictive programming. I will say, though, that you do get a little negative here. You go on here to go down quite this negative path about dumbing down society and control of society. And I think that's a great thing to contemplate for sure. But I'd love to also see the other side of that coin, not just this sort of, oh no, they're going to program us, they're dumbing down, they're controlling the society. Okay, great. But how are we using these symbols to give ourselves power? And how might you think, okay, that could be happening, but simultaneously there's great freedom in knowing that. So I'd love to see you take that awareness of this and use it towards your own powerfulness, use it towards creativity, because you can engage with this instead of just asking, what are these people doing to us through the symbols, through this symbolic language? Answering that question is not as important as what you're going to do with it. D.F5968. So I give you an A+ for this answer because your thoughts go deep. But when we're talking about duality, I'd love to see both sides of the coin more. How deep can you go into the negative? It can only be balanced by how far you can go into the positive. You can hold those two simultaneous states within yourself. Now that would be an A++. Okay, thank you, TD. Okay, we've got Moist Rays Gnome 1181. Just saying that the professor is firing on all cylinders, smashing stuff, sir. Well, I don't know if the professor's going to know what smashing stuff it means. I don't think he would be destructive and he's going to take it that way, but thank you, Moisturized Gnome. Next, we've got F8 House. And it said, my jaw dropped when I saw it was you. Heart. A lot of heart emojis there. Great use of emojis. Thank you, Professor. Alright, you know what this reminds me of? And I don't want to embarrass you or anything, F8 House, but I don't know if you've ever seen the first Indiana Jones film where a student is sitting in a lecture hall and Indiana Jones is giving a lecture and she closes her eyes and written on her eyelids it says, I love you, I think, because all of the students in that class are quite in love with the professor, and I don't know if that's how you're feeling here, F8 House. But I'm sure the professor appreciates this amount of emojis, the enthusiasm itself. I'd love to hear your thoughts next time in the homework though, F8 House. Next we've got a homework submission from the Human Cheshire Cat. Wow, I'd love to meet you, Human Cheshire Cat, and see that big smile. Okay, but what's the brainwave state you're putting us in with that background ambiance? Theta? And Neuron Crux, an earlier homeworker, says, let's hope. So Neuron Crux kind of wants to be in that theta state, which is, who doesn't? I think that's one of the calming ones. I don't know. So this is a great question. What brainwave state is he putting you? How do you feel about it, Human Cheshire Cat? I think you can only know the answer to that through your own experience. If you go and you look at your feelings, I'd love to see Human Cheshire Cat not only you asking the question, but giving us your version of the answer. So you say, what brainwave state are you putting me in? I feel like this. Feelings are a really big important part of this work, and you have to engage your feelings with this sort of thing. So C+, Human Cheshire Cat, I'd love you to go deeper next time. Great. Okay, next homework is from Borzoi Dude 7x7x7, who says Cinnamix is in all of our food. I don't know what Cinnamix is. I'm going to give you a D for that one. Alright, a lot of people just sort of welcoming the professor back. Welcome to Scorched Sands University, Professor. Indeed, everyone's so excited to have the professor back. So I hope more of you are going to come back, not just welcoming the professor back, but, doing your homework, putting down your questions, putting down your thoughts, your feelings, engaging with what the professor is saying, because we care about your minds, about your feelings just as well. But thank you so much, everyone who's so excited to come to class. Alright, we've got Nathan Glover Sr. saying double-decker crash in a window view. Oh my god, dude. Alright, let's see what Nathan Glover Sr. is talking about in the picture here. Is this what you're talking about? That's a Colosseum, Nathan. But interesting, you should point it out. This is part of Scorched Sands University. You might want to take a walk around the campus, Nathan. But great eyes. We'd love to see it, Nathan. Visit the Colosseum. You can go and see the fighting pyramids. Play sports there, and you might want to go in the stands and cheer. Just stay hydrated out there, I would. This SG Vitikutbu says, will there be a conclusion to the Hobo series? And the professor replies, in all likelihood, yes. I have seen him working on it, so if you guys haven't seen the Hobo series, you lads should go over there. You should go into the back catalogue of lessons from the professor and take a look at the Hobo series, because it looks like there's going to be more. Alright, next I'm going to review the homework of David Anthony 7495. I think your clock hands are messed up too, due to them not moving. So we've got David Anthony sort of noticing that, noticing a bit of detail in the professor's office on the clock. Now, Draven Dark Matter says, maybe the hands are moving very slowly because it's an astrological clock and the sun only moves in degrees over the course of days. But maybe he needs to wind the clock or something, because if the hour hand indicates the sun and the minute hand indicates the moon, would be sun in Cancer and moon in Aries. But maybe he recorded this in a different date. That is very interesting. Draven really noticing the details. David Anthony, it's great to ask a question and point out something that might be wrong, but perhaps take a page out of Draven Darkmatter's book and think about what if the thing I'm noticing isn't something wrong, but something right? You say messed up right away without thinking about another conclusion, but your student Draven here really picks up the slack on you. So David Anthony, C plus Draven Darkmatter, A. Shao9x9, don't know what you're talking about, same old professor to me. Okay, alright, next we've got Undead Sorcerer's homework, who just writes, it's pronounced Rao. Now I know what you mean. In the video, the professor talks about a Rao, and he says ro, and not a Rao, and sort of referring to an argument. I agree, I also pronounce it Rao. So when I look at yours, I say to myself, it's pronounced Rao. But if the professor pronounced it Ro, and he read this, he would say Ro. So maybe some kind of phonetic spelling next time if you want to correct the professor. Bold, Undead Sorcerer, bit bold. Right, so thank you very much, lads, for submitting your homework and for showing up for the feedback. I hope you can take this feedback with the love that it was intended, because education is very important, and how we engage with each other, not just how we're listening or trying to be clever with a one-liner, but really engaging with the material, letting it stew around in our minds, in our hearts, so we can come to the conversation with full creativity, full fun. I love you all, and I'm so happy to be the teacher's assistant here at Scorched Sands University. It is a great honour to be working with Professor Bulwer Smythe here at Scorched Sands, and I hope to see you all in the next class. Alright, my name is Sheela. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments. If you want to continue any of the conversations or have more thoughts, I'd love to see them here. Homework upon homework, who knew? So visit the university shop if you haven't bought your books yet. We've got 2 different books there. I know one of them is a textbook, and the other one is I think it's a naughty piece of smut that the puppeteer made. I don't know, but I don't know why they're allowing it in the university bookshop, but there you have it. So you can buy 1 textbook and 1 piece of smut from the university bookstore. I'm Sheela. Thank you so much. I can't wait for the next time. So if you'd like to donate to the university, pay your tuition, you can go to our coffee page and throw in a few dollars to the Scorched Sands University Fund. We're trying to buy a new computer because the popcorn man spilled butter all over the last one. Okay, great. See you out there, lads. Signing off. I'm Sheela.